I don't think Donald Trump is a fundamentally honest person in his policies. I do think he's a very intelligent man, and like for example, he knows there is that section of the Republican Party and even section of the Democrat Party in which he got those people to cross over and vote from the primaries, who are really upset with the so-called establishment that he calls the two parties, which I don't think exists. And he's smart in knowing how to manipulate and marionette them to support him.
I mean, that sounds Machiavellian to me.
I
To
mean,
some degree.
I mean the thing is that so Donald Trump has some very Machiavellian staff, like the famous Roger Stone with like the Nixon tattoo, and Landowski. Yeah, I feel like they go well with his personality. Okay, so my name is Jorge Villarreal. I'm from Houston, Texas. I'm actually an at-large alternate, but since my delegate is not here, I'm the delegate today. And I'm here because I was given the opportunity by those in my state party to represent my state. The Republican Party has sort of been in the Civil War since 2010, Tea Party versus Libertarian versus Social Cons versus Moderate. But I wouldn't really say it's because of Trump specifically. He just took advantage of this Civil War.
I mean, civil war is a strong phrase.
I mean, honestly, it is a civil war because if you look at the primaries, Tea Party candidates run against who they call establishment candidates, and establishment candidates run against Tea Party people. It's a power clash.
And so how do you begin to resolve that power clash?
I think we resolve that power clash by, I personally think the Tea Party movement will actually fade away in the next few years. I feel like the insurgent group will actually be Trump's brand of Republican politics. Very high on economic protectionism and nationalism. Yeah.
Is that a good thing in your view?
I don't think it's a good thing because I feel, for example, the reason I won't be supporting nor voting for Trump is because I feel that he scapegoats and attacks those groups who can't really protect themselves. Like, for example, if he attacks illegal immigrants, but they can't protect themselves because, if they stand out, their status may be known. And he also attacks those of the Muslim community who can't really defend themselves much because, they've been ostracized and really vulnerable since, 9/11, which they aren't really responsible for. So the thing is that I'm actually mixed race. I'm a mix of Latino, Native American, white, and black. But for all intents and purposes, I identify as Mexican.
And so how does that influence the way that you see this race this year?
The way I see this race is for example, honestly, if it wasn't for Trump's rhetoric, I could vote for him simply because I think Hillary is a pretty bad candidate. And I know that I'm sort of know the way the system works, and most of Trump's crazy proposals won't even see the light of day, like in the House or the Senate. But his racist comments just makes me feel that I cannot vote for him at all, because not only would I be making a bad decision morally for me, I would be further damaging the party in the long term.
What do your parents think?
Well, my parents actually are former Republicans. They loved H.W. Bush. They love Ronald Reagan, because my parents actually came here illegally through Mexico, but they were given amnesty under the Reagan and H.W. plans. They feel like they sort of feel the same way in me as the faction of Trump has really hijacked the Republican Party, and they say, Jorge, you have to fix your party. It's Trump's making it go haywire. So I will actually be voting for Gary Johnson in November because he has Republican experience and I like him. So the thing is that I grew up in Southside Houston, near Sunnyside, for those of y'all who know Houston, and it's a very impoverished area, which is basically all the offices are Democrat. I used to be a Democrat until I was 15, but then I was saying that, 50, 60 years of Democrat politics and that community, which is 90, 85% black, was actually worse. And that's why I joined the Republican. I joined the Republican Party of, H.W., Reagan, Dole, Lindsey Graham, those reasonable Republicans. But I feel like a lot of the Republican Party has been hijacked.